This is Larry Henares making your day with part 42 of a book I wrote on Philippine history. Subject: Presidents did the opposite of what is expected. And we continue to quote. The nationalistic ex-president, Jose P. Laurel, who was accused by the Americans as a traitor, authored the Laurel-Langley Agreement to extend parity rights to all business activities reserved only for Filipinos. On the other hand, post-war Filipino leaders followed scrupulously the American line, carefully distancing themselves from the nationalist ideology of Claro and Recto. But when they finally get elected to the Philippine presidency, they began to act differently, almost as if Don Claro Recto was prompting them. President Ramon Magsaysay, the favorite American boy, was responsible for the nationalization of the retail trade and the central bank reallocation of dollars that encouraged Filipino industrialists and the Philippine industrialization. Measures advocated by Recto and deplored by the Americans in the IMF. Diosdado Macapagal, the candidate favored by Americans to counter the Filipino First policy of President Carlos P. Garcia, was a terrible disappointment to the Americans when he became president. He changed Independence Day from July 4th to June the 12th and triggered a nationalist renaissance that saw most American named streets renamed for Filipino heroes, and history books perpetuating colonial myths by Saide replaced by those written by nationalist Teodoro Agoncillo. The Americans and their puppets demanded and got a laughable consolation prize, July 4th as Philippine-American Friendship Day, which no true Filipino ever celebrates anyway. Macapagal did more in the field of foreign policy. He struck out on his own by claiming the Sabah territory from the British, to the embarrassment of the United States, Britain's friend and ally. Then he organized Mapilindo, an associate of Malaysia, the Philippines, and America's sworn enemy, Sukarno, Indonesia, with the assertion that Asian problems be solved by Asians themselves. More about this after these messages. This is Larry Henares making your day with part 42 of a book I wrote on Philippine history. Subject: Presidents did the opposite of what is expected. Ferdinand E. Marcos was also considered American's boy, expected to deliver a Philippine expedition to America's show of flags in Vietnam. As president, he did, but he also let the Laurel-Langley Agreement lapse. He denied American vested right to parity privileges, established diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China, the Soviet Union, and the rest of the communist world, organized the ASEAN religion grouping with other Southeast Asian nations, joined the non-aligned nations of the Third World, and dared to demand payment for the military bases from the Americans. Then President Marcos, ignoring an American blacklist, enticed a brilliant band of Recto followers to join his administration. Blas Ople, Adrian Cristobal, Carmen Guerrero Nakpil, J.V. Cruz, Renato Tayag, Florentino Daus, Rodolfo Tupas, along with such socialists as Luis Taruk and Nilo Tayag. He heaped honors on nationalist Amando Hernandez, jailed for subversion, and Leon Maria Guerrero, exiled to various diplomatic posts. And the USIS Propaganda Office was no longer allowed to display their posters in every school and municipal building. How were these American boys able to do what Recto himself could not accomplish in his lifetime? Recto would have never been elected president. If he were, he might have been assassinated by the CIA like Allende of Chile. The American boys succeeded in doing reckless work simply because they were expected to do exactly the opposite. Maybe so. But don't bet your devaluated peso on it, for such is the perversity of power, that in the natural course of things, as history apt demonstrates, a wise man trusts the absurd and learns to expect the unexpected. More tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Henares, making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.